afternoon. Just want to start by saying obviously very disappointed on Saturday in regards to the outcome. One goal on game day, and that is to win. And we're not able to do that. So obviously had a chance to watch the film, which to teach off of and grow from, and on all three phases. But just the bottom line is that now we had a chance to play and see a lot of our new faces and how they responded to a high level opponent, and now we get a chance to evaluate that and build off the things we did well and correct the things that we made mistakes on and continue to go forward. I want to recognize some players that did a great job, giving us a great look. Our scout team players of the week from this past week against preparing for Ohio State. Connor Holt on defense and Jeff Hutzinger, and then Brock Lowry and Jack Greer on offense, and then Declan McMahon on special teams. So appreciate those guys and their effort. Got a lot of guys each week that allow us to get ready each week, and it's very, very critical in our process. So excited about welcoming Indiana State to Memorial Stadium on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, and have a special relationship with Kurt Mallory and obviously his entire family. But just a lot of respect for him, and I think we're going to have some of the former players from Coach Mallory's era be here for a reunion, and Ellie's going to be back as well. So she was jokingly saying, you know what colors to wear, and obviously she needs to wear blue to support her son. It says blood is thicker than water. So, but appreciate that family. Obviously, very, very important to our program, and just a lot of respect for them. So appreciate that, and look forward to having them here. Obviously, they're going to come here hungry, ready to compete and play, and play the very, very best. So we need a very important week of preparation, shorter week. Already had our Tuesday practice today, on Monday, and to be able to accelerate the week and get ready for an early kickoff. Questions?
Exactly, Mike.
I swear I'm not trying to rile you up, but the top of the Friday games, you've played a couple of them. You've always made your feelings clear. I recognize there's an extent to which this stuff is just marching orders with the media rights deals and things like that. But just, I guess, do you ever give that feedback to the conference of basically just your opinion, your position on playing on Fridays?
Yeah, I've been pretty consistent, from the very beginning, and there's no question that I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, but I just we can't be recruits at the game. They're all playing, and their families are all at their son's game, but they should be, and all that. So just I am a 15-year high school coach and have a lot of respect for what they do and how that night is special. So yeah, whenever I'm asked, I don't sit there and bring it up every meeting, but and I know everybody has different opinions and there's different reasons, and I don't sit in their seat. I don't make those decisions, but I do feel like I've been consistent. I'm not trying to just keep bringing it up. I just think it's important, and I understand the whole dynamics of it all, with different variables with media and everything. So, but there's certain things that we have. If everyone wants to know my opinion, they know what it is.
Mike on your left, Rabbi.
With Aaron Casey, when you watched the film, what impressed you most about his game? Seemed to really play the one well. Did you feel he was the best defender on the field on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he was. He just played with a lot of confidence. He's very decisive. His run fits. Just played fast, played physical. Got guys on the ground. Two elite running backs that very, very talented players. So just like I said, the biggest thing was just the decisiveness and his fits. And I thought, Jacob, JMF played really well too, right next to him. So it's encouraging. I always have said if you want to have great defense, you got to have a great linebacker play. So he definitely was, our best player on that day, and I expect him to continue to grow and keep improving and getting better. But he's the leader of our defense, and that's, as we tell our linebackers, that leadership is both in verbal leadership and production. That's how you play linebacker. So he did both, which is great.
Rabbi the Jack.
Hey, Coach. Sitting up in the press box, the offensive line looked markedly improved from our vantage point. I'm curious, from a coach's viewpoint, especially after watching the film break it down, what did you see, and what was your opinion of the play?
Yeah, I've been asked about that a lot leading up to the first game, and I felt like that we were a lot better up front from when you go through spring football, and obviously everything you do during fall camp when you have pads on. And next test was to see how you do you know, in the game, but then obviously against, you know, Ohio State, you know, a team that's strong on both lines of scrimmages traditionally. So I felt like we got movement. I felt like the guys were targeting their guys accurately throughout the game, and I thought they did a lot of positive things. We had 2 hits on the quarterback, we gave him 1 sack. We did not sustain our blocks to the level that we know we have to move forward. So the strain to finish to me is the next component of that. But step 1 is targeting the right guys, getting on the right people, and creating movement. You know, so to me, definitely much to build off of. So yes, was encouraged by that. Trying to get more guys ready to play. In the course of the season, guys get dinged up, and to be able to mix and match and put our best 5 out there. So, you know, we kind of made some adjustments, and we have some flexibility to move guys in and out a little bit, which is good. But, you know, Coach Bush has done a really good job with that group, and the expectation is just keep getting better every week.
Jack and Mason.
It looked like Jameer Johnson got a little bit banged up in the second half. I guess, what is he dealing with, and how's he doing injury-wise? And I guess overall, I know you said some of it was just cramping, but how do you feel like you got out of week 1 in terms of health?
Yeah, we had a couple guys cramping, you know, which is obviously a weekly situation. I think as the weather unfolds this week, it's going to be a high of 76 on game day, so about 10 degrees cooler than it was this past Saturday. So don't expect that to be a variable for our guys moving forward. And then, you know, the way we have the availability report now, so guys will be listed on that each week. So really probably not going to discuss a lot about injuries. We'll have that put out 2 hours before kickoff and let that kind of handle that situation.
Mason and Kent.
With the defensive line being so impactful on Saturday, how would you kind of evaluate their performance, especially against Ohio State's offensive line?
Yeah, you know, I tell you, I was encouraged. You know, I expected them to play well, but you don't know. And I thought Andre Carter was extremely disruptive. He'll only get better as he learns our system more and continues to trust, you know, playing within it and the different things we have him do. And I thought Philip Lee was very disruptive as well. Although he went the wrong direction a few times on some movements, and that jacks you up, leaves a gap. And I think even LD Cox played his best football, you know, since he's been here. You know, you got Marcus Burris, who's another guy that's new that I expect to just keep getting better and better. You know, I thought Nick James, you know, one of our young redshirt freshmen, he shows tremendous promise. He's extremely explosive, a little undersized, but when he makes, you know, he lacks in size, he makes forward quickness and speed and athleticism. You know, and PJ as well. There's a lot more competition in there. A lot of guys that rotate in. You know, want to get Vincent Steed more involved. I think he's a guy that I know can help us and give us a chance there. That'll be the case moving forward. And then you take, you know, Linnell Carr. I thought he played real physical. Not a big guy, but very athletic. And Miles Jackson is just, as he always is, he's just steady. You know, and then you got also mixed in there, you know, Anthony Jones at the bull spot, and he also plays the outside backer. He's heavy pushing him. So was encouraged by our D-line. I thought we had a couple mistakes in some key situations defensively. It was frustrating because I felt like we should have held them to even less points had we done a couple things that, and a couple picks that we had chances to get our hands on that we didn't. We ended up getting 2 field goals, so that's 6 points there. And we got to make those plays. You play a team like this, you got every time you get 2 hands on the ball, you got to pick it off. So, just thought that the D-line set the tone, and you got it. It's a big area of focus for us to go out and get guys that can help us right away. And those 6 guys that we brought here, they all played, and I thought they played well.
Ken in the back.
Coach, you mentioned after the game that you felt that you were a little bit conservative offensively in the second half. When you're seeing that on the sidelines in real time, what's that conversation with Walt like? Do you say, hey, come on, we got to start pressing against, or how does that play out?
Yeah, no, I think it's like anything else. You know, you see what you see, and yeah, feel free to make my comments. But there's also a lot of layers to it. You know, the one frustrating thing that kind of stuck out to me that really put our offense in a bad spot. We had 4 crucial penalties that caused us to call. We started 4 drives inside the 20, 3 inside the 10, which is tough. It affects play calling. It affects psyche. All you can do is just look at the stats. When you have to start that far down inside your own territory, it's very difficult against anybody to move the ball and score points, let alone against this team. So I think that put us in a negative spot. It does affect you. You're trying not to put your young quarterbacks in a, you know, bad situation to make a big mistake, you know, a catastrophic mistake. You know, you throw a pick 6 in that situation, you turn the ball over, and it just it can snowball on you. And so, and I also felt like, and this is just, you know, statistically it's true, we did not do well on first downs, you know, which put us into a third and longs. Which once again, that's that's kind of the one thing you don't want. There's about 3 teams in this league where you say, you know what, we got to stay out third and long as much as possible. You're going to have a tough day, and they're one of those 3. And so, just because of what they can bring, their speed, their size, their mass on the edge, and they have 2 of the best defensive ends in the country, and some inside guys that are extremely explosive. So that puts a lot of pressure on your offense. So that definitely probably played a role as well. So, but that's, you know, we're just going to grow with our guys. We got to keep growing with them each week, and you'll see that. We'll see that. And I think, you know, there's no doubt, we didn't play good enough on offense to win. We got to score touchdowns. I know that, we all know that. So, but I do think when you think about up front, which is where it starts, and we got the skill around them, we just got to keep growing it and get these young quarterbacks developed, you know, and the best way to do it is to play, and that's what they got a chance to do. We didn't have play on either one, but it ended up being pretty balanced. Not necessarily by design, which by the way it worked out, but we're running them both to play, and they did. And Tatum's going to start this week, like I said, after the game, and they're both going to play this week, and we'll have a chance to evaluate it and make a decision with them.
All right, Peter, on your left and center.
Tom, beyond the defensive line, how would you assess the way the other transfers play?
Yeah, you know, I was encouraged by our secondary. You know, Nick Toomer stuck out to me, number 15, and just a guy that, man, I wanted him so bad the first time. We recruited him so hard. His whole league comes from a great family and he's great people. And so glad he's here. Such an awesome person. He's long, he's athletic, he can tackle. I thought he did a really good job. I think that, you know, anytime you have that kind of length of corner, Jameer Johnson did some good things. Like his ability, you know, Kobe Minor, same thing. He had missed a little bit last couple of weeks, so it's kind of get back into the flow. I think he can continue to grow and get better, but I think he stuck out to me as well. And I know from a transfer perspective, you know, Christian Turner shows burst. You know, we had that, and just kind of continue to just fine-tune our offense. And I thought E.J. Williams, as a transfer, DQ, those guys can make plays for us. So I just like the guys that we have. I think that we've added some playmakers to our team, and just got to keep growing together each and every week. But those are the additional guys besides the D-line to me that stuck out.
Seth and then Daniel.
I know you mentioned the quarterbacks when you were talking about the offense before, but just now that you've had a chance to kind of look over the film, and I know it's an ongoing kind of decision that's extending into this week and, you know, beyond that, but just from what you see on the film from Saturday, just what you see from Brendan, what you see from Taven, things that they, you know, that you like that they were doing, things that, you know, they need to work on going forward.
Well, you know, I think, you know, you have, in that setting, you know, they have to make decisions, and sometimes they make good decisions. You know, with the run game and throw game, I can say this about each one of them. And sometimes they didn't. You know, there are times where receivers didn't. You know, there was a time it may look like the quarterback misses, but the receiver runs the wrong route, makes the wrong read. You know, and just a couple of those that were, you know, broken up. If they were run, the routes were run a little bit different, with different type of cuts and angles, different things. It's a completion. You know, so but I felt like that overall. You know, I don't think either one of them just separated from the other. You know, just my opinion. Just looking at it, you guys all saw the same thing I saw. And so looking for that to continue this week, and that's what we're looking for, someone just to separate and become the guy, you know. So, but I think that they showed their youth in some situations, but I thought they both showed poise. I think they both showed that the moment wasn't too big for them, and that was their first time playing in that amount of snaps at this level. And so you just got to continue to evaluate, which we will, and obviously they can both throw it and both run it, and you just got to be able to figure out who's the one that's going to give us the best opportunity to win on game day.
Daniel on your right, Daniel on the back.
Obviously, you already said that some of the play calling was dictated by game script and starting so deep in your own territory, but we saw you guys now running the ball a lot, quite a few option books. Is the idea that as you guys get more comfortable with some of that option running, and as your 2 quarterbacks get more comfortable throughout the season, to kind of use that option, use that running time to open up more passes downfield that you can try it later in the season?
Yeah, no, I think that, you know, anytime, you know, I would think this is another thing, whatever style we want to play, you know, you got to run the football in this league. You got to stop it on defense, and you got to be able to run it on offense, and then your throw game comes off of that. You know, to me, that's without question what we want to be able to do. And for a lot of different areas of that, different components that can keep the, you know, the secondary, and to try and create some looks that makes it easier on quarterbacks, you know, which is kind of the big picture objective. You know, at the end of the day, you're trying to help him be at his very, very best, whoever that person is in there. And so there's no question, you know, we have, talented receiver on the perimeter to get the ball to, got good length, good athleticism, and we gotta get those guys to football, we know that. So, but yeah, but to me, when they can't just lay their ears back, you know, and just come after you and give you all these exotic looks, that's what makes it really hard on most quarterbacks, you know, I don't care who you are. And so to try to eliminate some of those and be able to create those explosive shots down the field in early downs, you know, when they have to stop the run, worried about the run, they put you in a lot of conflict is the whole objective, without question. So that's the part of it. We just gotta keep going forward, keep moving in the right direction. So obviously this is opportunity number 2 to do that. I thought today was another good step for that in our practice today. And we'll have a normal Wednesday tomorrow and be back in pads and ready to go. So that's just all part of, yes, building our system.
This isn't your first year with the QB competition, obviously. With the 2 that you have this year, I'm curious how you've seen their off-field relationship kind of expand and evolve throughout the summer.
Yeah, I think it's been one of the better ones that I've been a part of in regards to the 2 guys getting along. And, you know, they've spent time together, they golf together in the summer. They both love to golf. Actually, both pretty good too, but much better than I am, that's for sure. But just, you know, they're competitive. They both want to be the guy. So that's where that natural tension, you know, creates, and that's part of it. I don't care what position you play. You know, you're trying to compete for somebody else, and only one guy gets to play. So, but at the same time, how they handle that is important. It really is. I mean, especially when you come off the field and you got to be, you know, helping, talking through things. You know, Coach Bell's in the press box, and those guys can communicate, and he's seeing things and helping each other make it. At the end of the day, it's about, you know, this team being successful. So that's encouraging because that shows to their character. And but that's, once again, I know they both want to play. I get that. So, but I think when you have these quality young men, that they're going to be able to handle it the right way and help you continue to build your team, because that locker room is very important.
Zion on your left, Zach.
You talked about the rule changes with the timing last week after actually going through a game and going through it. How did you see that change the way you went through the game and what were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, you know, from a football perspective, I know I've seen some things and some coaching comments about, you know, whatever, the commercial, I have no idea about all that stuff. But I just know that, you know, when the clock's moving, you know, after first down, it's going to shorten it a little bit. You know, when it was first introduced, it was kind of like, you know, the way I was explained to me, it's going to be 7 to 10 plays a game. I don't know the number yet of what it does. I mean, it definitely depends on the style of offense that you're running. I mean, when you think about it, you know, in the past when we played against an academy, when they would run the true triple option under center and they're trying to shrink the game and keep the ball, and it can definitely limit. With the way the clock is now, that could really limit your possessions, you know. So I think that we'll see moving forward. I think every week we'll have more data. Now we're into week 0, now week 1 already in the books. You know, they'll start getting numbers. I'm sure they'll be putting it out. You know, so it definitely does shorten the number of reps that you have in a game. And you know, that was initially introduced as a player safety issue. You know, to be able to put guys in a better position. You know, to not play too many snaps. And so, because with a lot of tempo offenses, a lot of teams are getting a lot of snaps. You know, so I think that was it. You know, but you can debate it in different reasons for all the motives and all. But end of the day, to respond to your question, it definitely is going to make you have less plays, you know, for each team without questions, because the clock's moving when you get a first down rather than stopping. So, to what extent it affects it, I think we'll know more as it unfolds.
Zach and Mike.
Following up, I mean, you kind of talked about this with the defensive line, and I know you seemed optimistic about the flexibility, I guess, that you have at some of those positions, but it felt like you were able to use a lot of different personnel groupings Saturday. Is that group maybe not just performed well, but did you see the flexibility and the versatility that you wanted to?
Yeah, I think that's a good point and good observation, because we definitely did that. And you're trying to maximize your roster, their skill sets, try to get best matchups, you know, with your opponent. And I do feel like we got some versatile guys and guys that give us a chance to do certain things, and we want to put those guys in the best position possible. And I think a guy like Anthony Jones, he gives us a lot of flexibility. A lot of times you watch him play in space, he plays like a linebacker, you know, and so he also has the ability to, you know, 260 pounds, he can rush the passer, stop the run in the box, and take on offensive tackles and big tight ends, you know. So, but I just feel like that we need that flexibility. First thing, I thought our defensive staff did a great job with those transitions, those substitutions, and didn't have any situations like you sometimes have early in the year where you get too many guys on the field, and run the guys off, and Coach Guerreri and Coach Will do a great job, organization with our guys. So I feel like that we have, you know, that kind of a defensive unit. And you know, once again, they didn't know until they play, you know, how we tackle well as well. I think it's something that's really positive, a couple missed ones, but that position flexibility as well as playing as much guys as we can, just to be able to keep guys fresh and finish the fourth quarter.
Mike and then Mason.
Philip had the interception, but he also seemed to be in good position kind of throughout the game, got a lot of snaps, I think it was 140. What did you see from him and how much growth has he made, in the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, it's been very important growth. We've challenged him. He's one of our most talented defensive players, I believe. He's still young. He did play for us last year as a true freshman in a limited role, but he was a guy we knew we needed to have him take the next step. It just has a great feel. I mean, he made that exact same play in practice. We talked about like it's amazing you play the way you practice, and just to reinforce that, to be able to reaffirm to each player, hey, this is why it matters how you do things every day. So he's been our biggest takeaway guy during fall camp, and it showed up on game day. So just a talented player without question, but he's still young. Got to be able to stay locked in, stay focused, and he and Josh have been holding down that rover spot for us. And it's great to have two guys that can play and just both can sharpen each other and hold each other accountable. So I feel like that he needs to continue to keep building off his performance from Saturday, but definitely encouraged by his play.
Mason and Carter.
You touched on it a little bit in your open, but your relationship with the Mallory family, them coming to Bloomington on Friday night, what do you expect that moment to be like when you guys meet at midfield, you and Kurt, or just in conversations with the Mallory family?
Yeah, just a ton of respect. Matter of fact, so I've always talked with Kurt, but during the pandemic, we talked a lot. He was kind of just a lot of questions about what was next and this and that, and what are we saying in our meetings with coaches in the Big Ten, and that would kind of affect them, and how are we doing this, how are we doing that, and so he and I talked a lot, and highly respected him. When I was a high school coach, he was a college coach way back then, and he and I are the same age, and so just obviously close with his dad before we lost him, and then just LA's relationship with this whole town and so many people here in our program. So it'll be a very warm embrace, not your typical, it'll be more than your typical just, pregame bro hug, the coaches give, kind of thing. But no, it's just so much respect. I know his brothers, well, and just so much, just a football family, good people, and they're so respected in this entire profession at such a high level. So just really looking forward to it, a chance to, we always cheer for him. We're not playing him. This is the first time we've played him since I've been here. So, but, I think that, and I probably knew Doug better, and until the last 2 years, we really got a lot closer with Kurt because of proximity being here. So, but just really, neat family for sure. So we're excited to have that opportunity. A bunch of former players coming back and to be able to unite and see both of them. So, now their family is pretty special in this program, no question.
Carter on the right, last one.
You utilized 3 running backs in the game, and obviously Jaden's skill set's a little bit different than the other 2, but how do you plan on using all 3 of them going forward? Do you feel like maybe you'll switch to 2 predominant running backs, or do you think you'll utilize all 3 the rest of the season?
We'll keep using all 3, and you're right, they are different, and so just different ways without question, so, but as the offense grows and continues to get better, and but those are 3 guys that we felt like, they weren't involved, and they're going to have a chance, and that position guys get dinged up throughout the course of the year, so you never know how it's going to play itself out, but I feel like that all 3 of them are talented players, and then, Trent didn't get a lot of snaps, but he's another guy, and as well as David. Those 5 guys to me are our top running backs that we really believe in, and to have a chance to keep those guys fresh in there, and they got to do a lot of different things, and Coach Johnson does a great job with that, but just managing that part of it is part of his responsibility as well. So we definitely expect to use a lot of those guys throughout the course of the season. Yes.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Awesome. Have a great day, Leo.